First of all, what can your fans in Spain can expect from the upcoming tour in November, at the end of November? What kind of, I mean, the stage show, I mean, a little bit of the set list, if you want to advance anything. I know you are coming out with a single next week. I don't know, you will play the new single. What can you tell me?
Well, we actually moved the single forward because it's very relevant to this period, to the autumnal period and Halloween. And um, we also want to play this new song, give people a taste of what's to come. And yes, the album is recorded. It's with the record company, and but it won't be released until I don't think until the beginning of April. But there will be uh, three, maybe even four singles prior to that. But the tour itself, we're playing music from throughout our entire back catalogue. So we'll be playing very early stuff, a new song, newer material, a few songs from Existence is Futile, fan favorites. It's a real mixed bag of stuff for the fans. It's going to be very visual, got a great new light show, new stage presentation, new costumes. It's going to be great. We've got a good lineup. It's very eclectic. Butcher Babies, Mental Cruelty, Black Satellite. We love coming to Spain. I mean, I love coming to Spain. I've got a bit of a history with Spain. I was dating a girl from Spain for about 4 years, and I love the food. So I have very fond memories of being in Bilbao and Madrid and Barcelona. Madrid is one of my favorite cities in the world. It's got the Prado Museum there, which is the best art gallery ever. So I'm probably going to spend my morning there, visiting the likes of, going to see the likes of, oh my God, now I've forgotten his name now. Sorry, I got so excited about everything. Um, uh, who am I talking about? Hieronymus Bosch and this guy. The guy who did this, I can't remember his name now.
Ah, yeah, I know.
Goya.
I've seen,
Goya.
but I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Don't worry.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, brain's gone. Goya, Hieronymus Bosch, and Pieter Bruegel. Triumph of Death and The Garden of Earthly Delights, two of my favorite paintings, are
Yeah.
in one room there. So yeah, very much looking forward to coming to Spain. It's always a treat playing for our Spanish fans. And like you say, the tour is going to be amazing.
Okay. Metal Journal, we are based in Bilbao. We will play our hometown in November also.
Cool, cool.
All right. In Spain, you will be playing with, if I'm not wrong, Butcher Babies and Mental Cruelty. How do you select the bands? Is something from Cradle of Filth, or is the agency, or how do you select those bands, the guest bands, I mean?
Well, we're good friends with the Butcher Babies. We'll be sharing a tour bus with them. We don't regularly share a tour bus with anybody, but only good friends. In the past, it's been Moonspell, Lacuna Coil, and this time Butcher Babies. So not many people. And we usually choose bands to make it an eclectic lineup. So the music isn't exactly the same. So it's all very heavy, very, exciting and brash and metal, but it's just got enough to sort of be an event more than anything. There's another band called Black Satellite playing as well. Very cool band from America, very Rammstein-esque, female fronted as well. Mental Cruelty, a sort of deathcore black metal, very high octane. Butcher Babies, well, they need no introduction. And hopefully nor do Cradle of Filth, as it is our tour.
Okay. All right. About touring, what do you love and what do you hate of touring? If you hate anything of touring, I don't know. What do you love and what do you hate?
Well, I love coming out and playing for our fans. I love the whole experience of waking up in a different city every day. It's great touring Europe. Well, it's great touring everywhere because you get to see different parts of the world, different cultures, get to eat lots of lovely food. What is there not to like? The only thing I don't like is being away from home for long periods of time. And obviously, as one can imagine, being on a tour bus is a little restrictive at times. So we try and get into hotels when we can just to get a bit of freedom from other people. Because literally, it's like, living in a graveyard. You've got 20 odd coffins around you, and everybody's in very close proximity. So I wouldn't say hate, it's just a little, sometimes
Yes.
it gets a little wearing. But no, I'm very much looking forward to this tour. It's a great time of the year to be touring. I love the autumn. And we're visiting some amazing countries. So, as I say, what is there not to like about it?
All right, perfect. Members of Cradle of Filth come from different countries. How do you do for arranging, for preparing the tour? I don't know, you get together to rehearse previous to the tour, or how do you do it, coming from
No,
different
we,
parts of
we,
the
all rehe we all rehearse in our own prospective countries, but we get together before the tour. We're doing some rehearsals in London, in Shepherd's Bush, prior to the UK leg, and that our rehearsal. I mean, I'm rehearsing myself in my own studio. I just sing along to the records, and the backing tracks and what have you. Um, so that's easy enough. And then we get together and then we test out the lights and the visuals and get to repair what we need to repair and improve what we need to improve. And yeah, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. And it's just the way it is. It's a small world nowadays. So the fact that we have two Americans, two Czech Republicans, and well, it's not the Republican, two Czechians,
yeah.
and even the British, our bass player is Scottish, and I'm from the south of England. So, as you say, yeah, we're all from different parts of the world, but it works. It works very well, and they're all great musicians, and they're all very cool to hang around with. We've got a great crew as well, and we actually have a few new members of the crew, so we'll be trying them out at the rehearsals.
All right, all right. Talking about yourself, I imagine that every show involves an important routine to go on a stage. I mean, the makeup, the special costumes. What is your routine like, and how long it takes to get ready for the stage? It's a long routine, the makeup, everything.
I usually have 3 hours
Wow.
to, yeah, that's to decompress, get into the vibe, relax. The most important thing about going on stage, funnily enough, is to be relaxed. And then the adrenaline takes over, and yeah, it's a couple of hours to do the makeup, and then a bit of warming up and socializing with the band, getting into the vibe. Um, then like speaking to the crew, making sure everything's fine. So yeah, it's a they're busy days. We try and have a few hours if we can to get out and explore. That's not always the case. Sometimes things are running a little behind. Obviously, we sound check, we have a meet and greet, dinner, etc., etc. So first few days is always a bit of a learning curve, but after that it becomes ritualistic.
Well, right. And when you mean the warm up, a part of the rehearsal for the show, do you sing at the backstage on your own to warm your voice when you're at the backstage?
Yes, a little bit. I don't go overboard. I mean, obviously we probably sound check for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So we would have played um I don't know, 4 or 5 songs already. So I would have been pretty much warmed up before then. But yeah, just a little bit beforehand. I have my own little rituals, as it were. And yeah, it's mainly about being ready in time and prepared mentally for going out on stage. There's nothing worse than being rushed. We just came back from Australia, and that was very frenetic. It was a lot of very early morning wake up calls to get flights to the venue,
Well,
um, and things weren't, you know, it was. We had a support band called Infected Rain, who were amazing. Um, and in some of the cities we had another support band. Um, and then sometimes dinner was outside, and it was all a bit rushed. And it worked. It was really good, but I do prefer to be calm and collective. I don't like being rushed. I don't like, right, you've got 5 minutes. I like to be in fully control of every facet and ready for the stage, you know? It's more about mental preparation prior to going on. During the day, it's more about warming up and, uh, sound checking, making sure that everything is perfect for the night.
And when the moment arrives, what do you feel when you get on a stage and see the faces of the fans? What do you feel at that moment?
Well, it's very adrenaline takes over for sure. I really hurt my back on the last tour. I think it was just from lots of flying. I mean, there was a 21-hour flight to back. There was a 18-hour flight to Australia. Um, and I think all the sitting and, just flying and early mornings just took its toll on my back. But as soon as I got on stage, the adrenaline takes over and pain's forgotten, and you you experience a strange euphoria because you're connecting with people that have bought your records who are fans, and it's a very special situation to find yourself in, and you feed off people. And then you've got your production, you've got your costumes, you've got the stage show, you've got the lighting, and the sound, and you're there with the people that you trust your life with. And yeah, it's almost religious in a weird kind of way.
Wow, great. Okay, and we are human. Is it difficult to perform when you are not having a good day for whatever reason? I don't know, you have any problems at home or whatever reason. When you are not okay, is it difficult to perform?
um It is, but you put those things to one side. I mean, for example, our guitarist Donny, um, whilst he was in Australia, there was a massive storm in America, and his hometown
Oh,
uh, experienced a massive storm. Then it was flooded. A lot of the roads were destroyed. He actually took a while to get back from. I mean, a few days he was stuck at an airport because he couldn't travel to his city. Um, but even with all that and worrying about whether his house was okay, was his family okay, you know, was his car, was his pets okay? As soon as he got on stage, it didn't affect him. He's a true professional, as we are all. And yeah, you deal with these things, but this isn't our first rodeo, as they say in America. Um, and professionalism takes over. Yeah, some things always at the back of your mind before you go on stage, but when you get on stage, it's all about the experience, living in the moment, playing the songs you like to the people you love. And yeah, it's a bit of a panacea, if that's a good word for it. It's like a cure.
oh, great. And after the show, you need to rest for the next day. Maybe you have it for sure another show next day. You need to sleep. How do you do with all the adrenaline you have? High adrenaline after the show and you need to sleep. How do you do it? Because I
Well,
admire that.
I'm a terrible sleeper anyway at the best of times. Um, like even when I stay at my girlfriend's house, I'm just not a good sleeper. I'm always waking up, so it's difficult. Um, you probably don't find yourself going to bed till about 4 in the morning because, like you say, the adrenaline's still kicking around. Um, I don't drink. I haven't drunk alcohol for about 2 years now, so that it's just a case of winding down. Really, you probably a nice cup of tea, actually, a chat with people, talking about the show, forgetting about the show. If we have a day off, then people have a bit of a party, and music's blaring and what have you. But generally, we're very well behaved, and everybody's very respectful of each other's spaces. And yeah, it's you find ways to wind down.
Mhm. Because playing every day is really demanding. I don't know if you want to add more day offs on the tour, or at least you are still young, but it's very demanding playing all days. day after
Yeah,
day?
yeah, we don't play generally more than 4 days in a row. And the day off, sometimes it's just a travel day, just stuck on a bus with a truck stop here or there. They're the worst. The best days are when you get to a next venue or the town or the city, take a hotel, go out in the evening, have a nice meal, maybe catch a movie if you're in an English speaking country, or back on the bus for a movie, or just sitting in the hotel room doing a bit of work, shower, just enjoying the normal things of life. When you're on the road, even getting a chance to do your laundry is like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Um, sightseeing's always a big thing for us. We love trying to get out and uh, taste the local food, go to like the oldest part of the city we can, um, take photos, try and do things that are exciting. Days off, we try and organize things that are cool, like go-karts or going to a zoo or going to a theme park or something that you can remember and go, wow, that was a great day off. And it takes your mind off everything and it recharges you mentally.
All right. The last about touring, you have been talking before about your long history with Spain. I would like to know if you remember any special occasion or any anecdote about a show in Spain, maybe in the old days, maybe in the 90s, or do you remember anything special about any shows in Spain?
I mean, it's loads of stuff. I remember once we played Barcelona and it was in a storm and like a big lightning storm, and lightning struck a building quite close to the venue, and all the power went off when we were on stage.
Wow.
That was a bit strange. Um, and just generally, we've just had a good time in Spain. Um, there's been times where we, like gone out, met with fans in bars, and just hung out. Um, done some meet and greets, met people out on the street. Uh, played some really strange places in Spain over the years, like having to travel quite far to get to like the top end of Spain, like Santander and um, is it Compostas de Santiago?
Santiago de Compostela. Yes,
That's the one. That's
in
the one.
Galicia. Mhm.
It's very close to the top of Portugal.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, amazing place. Just like, oh my God, let's just stay here. And then there's been times where we've had days off in Spain and we've gone to the beach. And there's one time north of Spain, I'd just come back from holiday in India and I was like suddenly really into being at the beach. So I said, let's all go to the beach. We have a barbecue. It'll be great. Let's go swimming. And then me and the keyboardist at the time literally got hypothermia. We like blew because it was so fucking cold. Um, we've had a few instances where we've stayed in uh, what you would call like campsites, but like holiday villages, where they have their own chalets, but they've always been out of season, so it's always been completely dead.
Okay.
And yeah, we have these like there may be like 100 chalets, and there'll be like 6 chalets that we've taken, and had bonfires and just really really strange occasions, but cool.
Okay. And apart of the touring, just some questions to finish the interview. I know that you don't want to say much about your collaboration with Ed Sheeran because it's something special for next year, I can imagine. But could you tell me how that collaboration came about? How did you meet him to Ed Sheeran?
Well, I almost met him ages ago because apparently he applied to be an engineer on a work experience thing at the studio we were writing at, and the producer had told. Well, basically, he just came because he knew we were going to be there. But the producer had told him we were doing the album there, which wasn't the case. And somehow it didn't work out. So he didn't do it. And he ended up, and he thanked me for it because the studio was a bit grotty. like it was a bit run down. So I think if he'd worked there, it would have put him off doing music. Instead, he went to work for the local council and he fucking hated it. His exact words, I fucking hated it. And he attributes his musical career and the pursuit of it to the fact they decided, no, I'm never having a normal job. This is shit. So yeah, this was around the time of well, I think it was around the time of Nymphetamine. We were writing for Nymphetamine at this studio. We then went to record it elsewhere, a place called Parkgate in a beautiful part of South England. And we stayed there for about 3-4 months. It was amazing. But we didn't meet Ed, but he was a big fan of Nymphetamine. So Q, maybe like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, he brought out an album. He did a video where he was a vampire in it. And subsequently, somehow, through interviews and him name checking us, both management companies chatted, and it was just said, "Oh, you know, Ed was a fan of the band growing up. You know, anything he could do for the band." And I think our management said, "Well, if he wants to, you know, do a collaboration," they said, "Yeah, I'm sure he would love to." And Ed wanted to, and the strangest thing was that obviously it took a while to get him at our studio because he was touring, we were touring. But our studio is only about 15 miles as a crow flies from where he lives. He lives in the same area of England as me, in the countryside. And so he turned up at the studio, no entourage, no photographers, no management, just him, his guitar, an Nymphetamine hoodie. Came in his wife's car, very incognito, had a great day with him. He was so down to earth. It was amazing. Then we went out for a pub lunch. And then I've been in contact with him on email, you know, for the last couple of years. He always drops me a line asking me how I'm doing. It's cool. He's a very nice guy.
Okay.
And the song, I can tell you the song's great. I will tell you the song is amazing. About 10 people have heard it. That's all. My mum hasn't even heard it. And everybody's gone, fucking hell, this is awesome. It sounds like Ed Sheeran. It's got acoustic guitar. It's got Ed Sheeran. It's undeniably Ed Sheeran. But at the same time, it's undeniably Cradle of Filth. It's got a blast beat. I scream. It's a perfect fusion. It's got a big chorus. It belongs more to extreme metal than it does to the world of pop.
All right, we will hear
but
it.
It's undeniably, you know, a marriage of extremes.
And we will hear it next year, maybe after the album.
Hopefully so.
Okay, writing is very important for you, for the band. Would you consider using artificial intelligence for writing? I don't know. It could be a tool, or for you is I don't know if it's a help or it's a threat for you. It's something useful or dangerous. The intelligence.
It's dangerous. I have a friend who is a computer programmer. He writes code for computer games and all kinds of weird and wonderful things. And last January, I went for a meal at his house and he showed me something then that scared the shit out of me, which was a program that was very new at the time where you could literally just type in what kind of music you wanted, what the lyrics should be about, how you want the video to look, what genre it should be, what style of, you know, it was, you put all these things in, 5 minutes later, you had a song. The trouble is it's soulless because essentially it's just taking bits of information, millions from around the web, and combines them very quickly into, and it learns, you know, the longer you have this, you know, I know artists that are AI creators and the longer they do it, the better it becomes. But the trouble is it's not just affecting, I mean, you get a painter, for example, or a band that spends a year writing an album, recording it, putting all the visuals together, releasing it. These things can do it almost instantaneously. So not only is it taking away from the, you know, like the hospitality scene, well, no, the entertainment industry, sorry. whether it's music, art, theatre, cinema. But as soon as it becomes attached to a physical robot, something that can physically do the job that its mind creates, then it's going to affect every walk of life. I mean, it's going to have benefits. Yeah. Everything has benefits. There'll be disabled people that will benefit from the use of AI. There'll be, historians and things that just do work for you that make it easy. But that's not the point. The point is it's soulless. And it's going to make the human race not only lazy. I mean, look at the way people are with music nowadays, with just having access to everything. There's no soul searching. There's no going to a record store and finding an album. Another good memory I have of Madrid was there's a record store there called Sun Records. And it's one of those weird record stores that even though I was seeing a girl who lived in Madrid and she lived about 3 streets away, I could never find this fucking shop. I found it once, and then the next time I looked, I'm sure it just disappeared. It's like a Harry Potter store where it just appears on certain days of the moon. And then if you did find it, it was always shut. So it was one day, and I've been looking for these records like as long as I remember. I mean, I had them on vinyl when I was young. It was this band called Blood Money and Agent Steel. And I knew that somewhere there must be CDs of this thing. I had to get them on CD. I didn't have the vinyls anymore. The Blood Money things was on Ebony Records. It was very low key. And fuck me, I went in this store, it was open, and there they were. Both albums I've been looking for ages on CD, literally next to each other. Literally the moment I started looking, it was like the weirdest fucking thing. But it took me ages, and there was an elation, and there was a sense of, I don't know, there's something very spiritual about spending the time drifting from shop to shop looking. Now you just press a button, and I think you lose the capacity to enjoy things as much. I mean, I'm a CD guy. I've got fucking thousands. And I recently bought, for example, a New Zealand Arda album, and it's in the car, and it'll be in the car for like a month until I know it off by heart. Mainly because I'm too lazy to take it out. But the point of it is I appreciate it for the way it was created. I listen to it from A to Z. I don't go, oh, fuck me, I'm going to listen. No, next. And I think the process of, it's like spiritual growth. It's like you can't just suddenly become an adult once you're a baby because you're going to miss all that learning curve. And although it's not quite the same, I do think that discovering bands and growing with bands and having them shape your parts of your life is important too. So no, I think AI is shit. I think it is a danger. And I'm not talking about, Terminator robots and Skynet, although that could be a problem eventually. But I just think for people's spiritual growth, for the replacement of hard work of artists in whatever they do, whether it's music, radio, TV, film, anything. Right. I think it's a bit of a problem.
And just 2 questions to finish the interview. Now I see that you listen to CDs nowadays, but do you still listen to the bands you listened when you were a teenager or really young?
Absolutely, probably more so. Yeah. I spent a lot of time on the road buying back my album collection. I'm not a vinyl man, but I do have vinyl. But CDs are like, I'm not going back from fucking 3,000-4,000 CDs. I'm not buying them all on vinyl, especially at the prices that vinyl is nowadays. So people give me vinyl. Danzig gave me a load of vinyl from, he went to visit Waxwork Records and gave me a load of soundtracks. I think that was the last proper time I got a big bunch of vinyl. But no, I still CDs. I mean, I do have an Amazon account, but mainly because some soundtracks that I want aren't available on CD or vinyl. They're just digital format. And also, you buy stuff from Amazon, it goes straight onto this thing. And also, like an iPod, you can't top that up anymore. That whole thing with I can't remember what the platform's called, but it just doesn't work anymore. Like everything I put on my iPod from my collection, like all the artwork's just all the same now because it just can't be bothered to keep up with it. So like I've got Bad Religion, I've got like, I don't know, 20 albums and they've all got the same cover. It's really bizarre. So yeah, CD guy.
Okay, and just the last one. Cradle of Filth fans have to wait until next spring for the new record. I think it's going to be a special record. Really,
They're all special records. It's great. It's got amazing production. It's a real like next step up for Cradle. There's elements of our past records. It's got elements of Dusk, elements of Midian, elements of Nymphetamine, elements of the last record, Existence is Futile. But it's modern. It's got very modern production, really crystal clear. Bit of everything about it. I couldn't describe how the album is. It's pointless. You wouldn't be able to discern a pattern to it because there's a bit of everything. Very proud of it. It's just the next evolutionary step in, and we've begun writing. Don't get me wrong, we've already started writing toward another record, but that's what we do. But there will be, I mean, people, yeah, they have to wait till April, but there will be at least 3 singles before then.